In this video, we will discuss about muscles of respiration. The primary muscle of respiration is diaphragm. What is diaphragm? Diaphragm is a double-domed musculo-tendinous sheet. The diaphragm has two domes. It is a musculo-tendinous sheet. It is located in the inferiormost aspect of rib cage. The word diaphragm means partition. It is derived from the Greek word diaphragma. About the domes of diaphragm. On either side of pericardium, the diaphragm extends to form the left and right domes. A diaphragm has two domes, right dome and left dome. In this picture, you can see this is the right dome and this is the left dome. It is on either side of the pericardium. At rest, the right dome is slightly higher than the left. The right dome is slightly higher than the left one. See, this is the level. Why the right dome is little high? Because the liver underlying the right dome of the diaphragm. About the pathways through the diaphragm. The diaphragm divides the thoracic and abdominal cavities. The diaphragm acts as a partition between thoracic and abdominal cavities. Thus, any structure that passes from thoracic cavity to abdominal cavity have to pierce the diaphragm. Thus, there are three openings through which the different structures pass from thoracic to abdominal cavity. The openings are otherwise called hiatus. So, there is caval hiatus, esophageal hiatus and aortic hiatus. Caval hiatus at a T8 level, thoracic vertebra 8th one. Esophageal hiatus at a T10 and aortic hiatus at a T12 level. The caval hiatus allow inferior vena cava terminal branches of right phrenic nerve to pass through. Through esophageal hiatus, esophagus, right and left vagus nerve and esophageal branches of left gastric artery and vein pass through. Aortic hiatus acts as a channel for aorta, thoracic duct and azygous veins. There are three pathways in the diaphragm through which different structures pass from thoracic cavity to abdominal cavity. The three pathways are caval hiatus, esophageal hiatus and aortic hiatus. Coming to the attachments of diaphragm. The attachments of diaphragm can be divided into peripheral and central attachments. It has three peripheral attachments. First one, lumbar vertebrae and arcuate ligaments. Second, costal cartilages of ribs 7 to 10. And third, xiphoid process of sternum. The parts of the diaphragm that arise from the vertebra are tendinous in structure and are known as right and left crura. The singular is crus. The right crus arises from L1 to L3 and the left crus arises from L1 and L2. The diaphragm has peripheral and central attachment. There are three peripheral attachments and the diaphragm has two crura, right crura and right crus and the left crus. This is the right crus originating from L1 to L3 and this is the left crus originating from L1 to L2 which are tendinous in structure. Coming to the central tendon of diaphragm. The muscle fibers of the diaphragm, you can see in the picture. These are the muscle fibers of the diaphragm. They combine together in the center of the diaphragm forming a central tendon. This central tendon fuse with the inferior surface of fibrous pericardium. This is pericardium. This is the inferior surface and this violet colored one can be imagined as central tendon. It fuses with the pericardium. About the functions of diaphragm. The diaphragm is the primary muscle of respiration. During inspiration, it contracts and flattens, increasing the vertical diameter of thoracic cavity. It causes lung expansion and indrawing of air. During expiration, the diaphragm comes back to its original position. It reduces the volume of thoracic cavity and air goes out of lung. Diaphragm is the primary muscles of respiration which helps in inspiration and expiration. In inspiration, it contracts and during expiration, it relaxes. About the innervation and vasculature of diaphragm. The halves of the diaphragm are called a hemidiaphragm. The left half is called a left hemidiaphragm and the right half is called a right hemidiaphragm. The concerned hemidiaphragm receives its nerve supply from the concerned phrenic nerve. You can see here, this is the left hemidiaphragm or left dome. It receives nerve supply from left phrenic nerve. Similarly, right dome or right hemidiaphragm receives nerve supply from left phrenic nerve. The majority of diaphragm receives arterial supply from inferior phrenic branches, which is the first branch of abdominal aorta. The remaining part receives supply from superior phrenic, pericardiophonic and musculophrenic arteries. The different veins follow the mentioned arteries including inferior phrenic, superior phrenic, pericardiophonic and musculophrenic arteries. Clinical relevance of diaphragm. Diaphragmatic paralysis is due to interruption of its nerve supply. This can occur if there is damage to phrenic nerve or spinal cord is damaged or if there is any problem with the brainstem. So a condition called diaphragmatic paralysis can happen due to interruption in blood supply. It can result from phrenic nerve damage, cervical spinal cord injury or brainstem damage. The second muscles of respiration is muscles of thoracic cage. This picture shows the entire muscles of thoracic cage. There are 5 muscles that constitute thoracic cage. They are intercostal, which are 3 in number, subcostals and transverse thoraces. These muscles act to change the volume of thoracic cavity during respiration. The function of these muscles is to change the volume of thoracic cavity. There are some other muscles that attach to thoracic wall but do not participate in respiration. They are pectoralis major, minor, serratus anterior and scalene muscles. These muscles have no primary role in respiration but have attachment to the chest wall. This picture you can see serratus anterior, pectoralis minor muscle, internal intercostal and external intercostals. Coming to details of intercostal muscles. As the name indicates, it lies in the intercostal spaces. The space between two ribs are called intercostal spaces. So intercostal muscles lie in the intercostal spaces. They are organized into 3 layers. Superficial to deep. The superficial layer is called external intercostal. There are 11 pairs of external intercostals. They run inferior anteriorly from the rib above to the rib below. They are continuous with the external oblique muscle of abdomen. They start from the rib above and attach to the rib below. They start from the above rib and attach to the rib below and run in the inferior anterior direction and continues with the external oblique muscle of abdomen. This is the external intercostal. They start from the lower border of above rib and attach to the upper border of below rib. They run inferior anteriorly. The action is elevation of rib cage during respiration. The innervation is from intercostal nerves T1 to T11. So external intercostal, it is seen outside of the intercostal space, or it is a superficial muscles of intercostal space. It originates the lower border of above rib and attached to the upper border of below rib. They run in inferior anterior direction and continues with the external oblique muscle of abdomen. Coming to the internal intercostal. Internal intercostals are seen deep to the external intercostal. They lie inner to the external intercostal. They run from the above rib to the one below, same like external intercostal, but in an opposite direction. That is inferior posteriorly. They are continuous with the internal abdominal wall. They are continuous with the internal oblique muscle of abdominal wall. As told already, it originates from the lateral edge of above rib to the superior surface of below rib. Lower border of above rib to the superior surface of below rib, but it run in the opposite direction as that of external intercostal. Actions or function. Functionally, internal intercostal has two parts, interosseous part and interchondral part. Interosseous part reduces the thoracic volume by depressing the rib cage. Interchondral part elevates the rib cage. Interosseous part depresses the rib cage and the interchondral part elevates the rib cage. Innervation is same as that of internal intercostal. Coming to the innermost intercostal. They are the deepest or innermost intercostal muscle. They are similar in structure to internal intercostal. They are same as internal intercostal in structure, but seen deepest to the intercostal muscles. They are separated from the internal intercostals by intercostal neurovascular bundle. They are separated from internal intercostal by intercostal neurovascular bundle. They are found in the most lateral portion of intercostal spaces. Their attachment, unlike other two intercostal, they originate from the medial edge of costal groove and insert to the superior surface of rib below. They originate from the medial edge of costal groove and insert to the superior surface of rib below. In this picture, you can see, in this cross section, you can see the different intercostal muscle. This is the innermost intercostal muscle. This is the internal intercostal muscle, and this is the external intercostal muscle. About the function, like internal intercostal, it also has interosseous part which depresses the rib cage and interchondral part which elevates the rib cage. Innervation is from T1 to T11 intercostal nerves. That was about intercostal muscles. Let us see about transverse thoracic muscle. The muscles of thoracic cage are continuous with the transverse abdominis muscle. This muscle is continuous with the transverse abdominal muscles. Its attachment is from superior surface of inferior sternum to the internal surface of costal cartilage 2 to 6. This is the sternum. It arises from the posterior surface of inferior sternum and attached to the internal surface of rib cage, costal cartilage from 2 to 6. It originates from inferior part of sternum and attached to the costal part of or costal cartilages of ribs 2 to 6. It weakly depresses the ribs. Innervation is from intercostal nerve T to T6. So transverse thoracic muscle is continuous with the transverse abdominal muscle. It starts from inferior sternum and attached to the cartilaginous part of ribs 2 to 6. It depresses the sternum or ribs in action. Innervation is from intercostal nerves T to T6. Coming to the subcostal group of muscle. They are found in the inferior portion of thoracic wall. This is the inferior portion of thoracic wall. They are found the inferior most part of the thoracic wall. They comprise thin slips of muscle which run from internal surface of one rib. This is the internal surface of one rib, the rib just above, and attached to the second or third rib below. It can be attached to here or here. Here you can see it starts from this rib and it attaches to the third rib. This is the second rib and this is the third rib. It attaches to third rib. Here, similarly here also, it arises from here. It does not attach here. Instead it attaches here. Second or third rib. Then, the direction of fibers parallel to that of the innermost intercostal. Action, they share the action of internal intercostal. Their innervation is from intercostal nerves. That is in brief about different muscles of respiration. Thanks for your listening. Please subscribe and share with your friends.